My presentation is on Antonia Pantoja, a Puerto Rican activist whose life mission was to empower the Puerto Rican and Latino community. Antonia Pantoja was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico on June 13, 1922. Not much is known about her parents because her mother, Alejandrina Pantoja, was an unwed mother. It is not known why, but Antonia was registered a second time to make her the daughter of her grandparents. Her birthday was changed to September 13, 1922. Antonia's childhood was not easy, since she grew up in extreme poverty. She did not have much growing up. Her family barely had enough food to eat, but she was determined to receive the best education possible. Dr. Antonia Pantoja certainly did fight for an education and was able to get through high school and later enrolled into a teaching program at the University of Puerto Rico. Her enrollment into a university was thanks to her wealthy neighbors that helped her pay for her education. In 1942, 2 years after her enrollment, she received her certification and began teaching children in the rural areas and the hills of Puerto Rico. In 1944, Dr. Antonia Pantoja joined the stream of impoverished Puerto Ricans who would migrate from the island to New York City. When she first arrived to New York City, she found work as a welder. While working as a welder, she experienced a great amount of racism and discrimination, which convinced her that the challenges the Puerto Rican community faced required strong leadership and better organization. After working as a welder for several years and becoming aware of the discrimination towards Puerto Ricans and other Latino communities in New York City, she decided to further her education by attending Hunter College, the City University of New York. She received a bachelor's degree in sociology from Hunter College in 1952 and then obtained a fellowship to study at Columbia University's School of Social Work, where she graduated with a master's degree in 1954. Dr. Pantoja has always been passionate about advocating for others, especially those facing discrimination. While still being a graduate student at Columbia, Dr. Antonia Pantoja, along with other young professionals, created the Hispanic Youth Adult Association, which later became the Puerto Rico Association for Community Affairs, or PRACA. PRACA was a social service institution that dedicated most of its resources to work with children in adoption, foster care, and bilingual nursery. It also offers services for leadership and development and works on women's issues. Upon graduating, Dr. Pantoja focused her attention on the grinding poverty of Puerto Ricans in New York. At the time, half of the Puerto Rican families living below the poverty line. 70% who were employed worked in the lowest paying jobs. 50% of those above the age of 25 had less than 8th grade education, and 40% lived in substandard housing. To begin addressing these problems, Dr. Pantoja founded the Puerto Rican Forum in 1958. The Puerto Rican Forum, which later turned into the National Puerto Rican Forum, is a service organization that has trained nearly 1 million Hispanics and helped them find employment. The Forum served as an incubator for organizations and programs promoting economic self-sufficiency. This organization paved the way for the many other organizations Dr. Pantoja was able to establish throughout her lifetime. Many of Dr. Antonia Pantoja's accomplishments focus on improving the performance of Puerto Rican children and other Spanish-speaking students in New York schools who were being taught only using the English language. 2 out of 3 eighth graders had fallen more than 3 years behind in reading. By 1963, there were 179,000 Puerto Rican students who attended public school, and only 331 received high school academic diplomas, and only 28 of those students went to college. This concern with the high dropout rates of the Puerto Rican youth in New York City led to the creation of Dr. Antonia Pantoja's most notable contribution to society, Aspira. Aspira, which in English translates to aspire, is an organization dedicated to empowering communities, especially Puerto Rican youth, to have a say in and control of their future. Aspira brought Latino students together to educate them and develop their leadership skills. The organization worked with educators and social work professionals who were as concerned about the high dropout rates of Puerto Rican students as much as Dr. Pantoja. Aspira eventually grew into a national organization dedicated to empowering Puerto Ricans and other Latino youth. Aspira now has offices in 6 states and Puerto Rico and provides approximately 50,000 Latino students with career and college counseling, financial aid, and other assistance. Operating through clubs and city schools, Aspira used rituals and symbols to appeal to students tempted by gang culture. After establishing Aspira, Dr. Pantoja continued being an advocate for Puerto Rican youth. She wrote a grant proposal in 1970 and was able to secure funds for Universidad Boricua and the Puerto Rican Research and Resource Center in Washington, D.C., and in 1973 became its chancellor. Universidad Boricua is the nation's first and only Puerto Rican-controlled bilingual institution of higher learning. The Puerto Rican Research and Resource Center is an organization devoted to the collection of data and to create policy based on research. 1973, the same year she funded the first institution of higher learning, she earned a PhD from Union Graduate School in Ohio. Dr. Pantoja moved to the West Coast because of health reasons in 1978 and took an assistant professorship at San Diego State University. She founded the Graduate School for Community Development in San Diego and became its president. This is an institution that serves communities and neighborhoods throughout the nation. After over 40 years, she was back where she first began her teaching career, which is Puerto Rico. While in Puerto Rico, she was able to establish an organization called Producir that provides economic assistance to small businesses in poor rural areas. It also enables rural communities to create cottage industries, generate employment, and provide services. Dr. Antonia Pantoja was able to accomplish a lot during her lifetime, and her hard work certainly did not go unnoticed. She received a lot of recognition for her work. Virginia Sanchez Carroll, professor of Puerto Rican and Latino Studies at Brooklyn College and co-editor of the forthcoming Latinas in the United States, a historical encyclopedia, has called her one of the foremost figures in community activism from the 1950s to the present. In 1996, Dr. Pantoja was the first Puerto Rican Latina to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award, which she received from the President Bill Clinton. It is the highest honor bestowed upon a civilian by the United States government. When she returned to New York in 1998, she wrote her autobiography, Memoir of a Visionary, Antonia Pantoja, published by Arte Público in 2002. Dr. Antonia was a very inspiring woman. A famous quote by her is, "People were asking about the future, and what do you do about the future? You make the future. I make the future. We make the future." Dr. Antonia Pantoja passed away on May 24, 2002, due to cancer.